Nerd out here covering a big Inferno A-stack CT setup. It's a good setup to stop and disrupt the opposing team from getting mid control. First, I'm going to show you the theory of how the strat came to be and how Big made adjustments. In this first clip against OG, Big are going to have 3 players towards lane and Porch. XANTARES boosted, tiziaN under, and syrsoN opping boiler. tabseN starts off at B and throws nades to make it look like Big is taking banana control, and then he rotates to arch. OG is going for mid control and smoke left brackets, and tabseN pushes through it. He gets 2 kills before traded out. XANTARES follows it up with a kill on poison. Big are up in a 4v2. Now here comes the lying issue with this setup. No one is watching apartments. Rush comes out apartment without any contest on balcony and kills all 3 Big players from behind. This leads on to the next clip against Vitaly, where Big made an adjustment and had tabseN rotate after he throws his nades banana to watch apartments instead of arch. The other 3 Big A players are still in their respective positions. Keto is a solo B anchor and will be playing retake. Vitaly are going for mid control, and syrsoN while flash opts Apex boiler. XANTARES and tiziaN follow up with a kill each. Big have bomb control as well as a 5v2 advantage, and they try to hold brackets with their own nades. However, Vitaly flushed them out and were able to retrieve bomb as well as kills XANTARES. Big are in a 4v2 and fall back into a passive setup, and Vitaly opts a save. Let's look at the players' POVs. syrsoN's Big's primary operator, he's going to be holding boiler. When teams default and get bracket control, the simple nades they throw are smoking left brackets, mauling lane, and flashing twice. syrsoN's angle typically gets flashed off, so he shoots when he gets flashed and kills Apex. He falls off to initially take cover due to being blind, but recovers and goes back to hold boiler. XANTARES dies, and there are a bunch of smokes brackets denying vision on both ends, and also an enemy molly flushing tiziaN out of Porch, so Big give up bomb control and fall back to a more passive setup with a 4v2 advantage, and syrsoN holds lane from sight, then switches to an off angle, which I'm not a fan of because he has no cover if he misses or gets flashed. Luckily for him, Team Vitaly opts to save. tiziaN will be under Porch, but first he will boost XANTARES. After the boost, he hides behind the left pillar anti-flash. His protocol is if there is a lane molly, then tiziaN will be in charge of smoking it out. As for when to peek, tiziaN peeks after the flashes. If there are no flashes, then he peeks after syrsoN's shot. tiziaN kills Masuta, and then after the initial kills, tiziaN tries to hold bracket and bomb control by mollying and smoking mid. However, Vitaly retaliate with their own utility, forcing the Big players back. tiziaN falls back under the hay cart and watches apartment, then he'll flash for tabseN to peek arch. tiziaN reloads and could have gave up his position due to the sound cues, so he changes his angle to Big Pit, which he can also watch apartments and support syrsoN. XANTARES will be on top Porch playing anti-flash. He gets boosted by tiziaN. He's gonna hold anti-flash until the enemy team flashes, then he peeks and kills Zyvu. Big wanna fight and hold bomb control, so he remains on Porch and Molly's boiler. He tries to work around Vitaly's smoke, however dies at RPK. tabseN is a B rotator who will be watching apartments after throwing nades banana at the beginning of the round, then rotating to A. He throws a mid banana smoke, which he goes inside this corner here, then aims in between these branches and jump throws. He follows up with a molly that lands behind half wall. The key here is that on some rounds when Big is not doing this strat, they also sometimes throw the mid banana smoke and molly. This way the enemy can't really counter strat. More or less you switch it up the nades thrown as a B rotator by throwing a fear smoke, which is the one-way car smoke. Maybe don't even throw a smoke and just double nade brum. You guys get the idea, switch it up. Anyways, he rotates over and picks up apartments while his 3 teammates are lane in Porch. tabseN jumps up to get info, and then flashes before he peeks this angle since it's a very common spot as a T-lurker to hold. His teammates get the kills on mid and Big are up in a 4v2 and then fall back to their passive setup on A. They have no info on arch, so tabseN gets a flash to get information, then he progresses up and holds inside the archway. Keto's anchoring the B bomb site in this setup. He has a second op. He holds the common op angle position behind half wall and tries to get an early pick. He will eventually fall off and play retake at coffins. Keto's objective here is to not die, so being at coffins with an op is a good position because he can shoot then fall off. Even if he gets smoked off, then he can just wait for his teammates to retake, because hopefully at this point Big has a man advantage if the other team try getting brackets, since Big's 4-man stack on A, with 3 being lanes to disrupt the enemy's default. You'll see he advances after XANTARES dies because his teammates spot the last 2 Vitaly players towards mid, so he's going to go hold the initial angle from the beginning of the round because Vitaly won't expect him to be there at this point. Unfortunately, the last 2 remaining Vitaly players opt to save. Another thing I want to point out here is that you don't need an op to play Keto's position. A rifle will do fine. Remember, your main job as an anchor is to not die in this setup. Preferably play CT or Coffin since your teammates are far to rotate and can't help you. Here is Big running the same setup versus forZe. 3 players laid in Porch while tabseN throws nades B, then rotates and watches apartments. Keto's a secondary op and he's not playing retake in this round and plays more on the aggressive side. forZe is going to go for mid control. In the prior clip we didn't see Vitaly Maya lane, here forZe do and tiziaN will smoke it out. syrsoN gets the opening pick on face crack boiler, XANTARES gets 2, XANTARES smokes mid and tiziaN and his XANTARES upgrade their guns and fall back into a more passive setup with a 5v2 advantage. forZe are going to save. Let's look at the POVs. syrsoN's holding boiler with the op. forZe throws a molly to force syrsoN off the angle, however tiziaN is there to smoke it. syrsoN gets flashed but gets a kill on face crack. He falls off the site and holds apartment alongside tabseN this time around. We saw earlier against Vitaly that syrsoN fell off because he was blind, but when he recovered, he went back and helped out his Porch players. I don't know the exact reasoning why he's watching apartments. It could be a read that they have on forZe. Anyways, syrsoN will pick up Arch as tabseN rotates to assist at B, seeing how Keto spotted a player and that they're in a 5v2 and don't need a 4-man stack A. forZe players opt to save. Let's go on to the next player's POV. tiziaN boosts XANTARES on Porch and plays behind the pillar. He's gonna smoke out the lane molly and then peek after the first flash by forZe. He gets blind by another flash and then takes cover, and then delay peeks after XANTARES takes contact. XANTARES smokes mid and both players are able to upgrade their guns and fall back. tiziaN plays under hay and watches apartment. XANTARES is the boosted Porch player holding anti-flash. In this position he can hear the forZe player lighting up the molly, so he lets tiziaN know. That's why tiziaN has a smoke out before the molly was thrown. He hears the first flash from forZe pop, then he peeks and gets a kill in XE power. forZe's second flash doesn't blind him and he kills Flit. He smokes mid afterwards and upgrades his gun and then falls back big pit. tabseN starts off at B throwing the same nades that he did against Vitaly. He smokes mid banana and mollies behind half wall, however his half wall molly is thrown incorrectly. Afterwards he rotates and watches apartments. His teammates get the 3 frags mid and during this time, Keto saw a player banana so tabseN rotates back to B to help him. Keto has a secondary op anchoring B. He's going to play this round more aggressive and hold corner. He misses the shot on Almazer and mollies to give him time to fall back. During this time his teammates on A got 3 kills, leaving Big in a 5v2. tabseN rotates over to help and Keto changes his position to dark. To wrap up, Big learned from their mistakes and adjusted their Inferno 4-man stack A setup by placing tabseN from Arch to apartments. It's a powerful setup to give them early picks and disrupt the opposing team's mid control. If you liked the video, please upvote and subscribe. Check out this other Inferno 4-player stack towards A by FaZe. Till next time, not out here, peace.